In the beginning, you were barefoot nomads with sticks. For thousands of years, your kind hunted, gathered, and followed the seasons like stardust chasing the wind. The transition from this lifestyle to settled farming took roughly 90,000 years, a blink to the cosmos, but an eternity to those who lived it. Domestication of plants and animals was your first step in bending nature to your will. And what followed? Villages, cities, writing systems, and the first whispers of civilization. But it was slowly, gradual. Progress crawled like moss on a stone. Then something snapped. Agriculture evolved into industry. You went from plowing fields with oxen to assembling machines in smoky factories. The Industrial Revolution took off in the 18th century and accelerated faster than anything before. You harnessed its steam, electricity, and oil, and with it collapsed the distance between places and people. From local blacksmiths to global railways, from candlelight to cities aglow with electric veins. The time from seed to steel was short, mere centuries, and that was just the beginning. You were learning to shape the world itself. Yeah, first you farmed wheat, and now you farm legs. Honestly, not sure which is more exhausting, but hey, props. You went from chasing goats to chasing electric scooters in like 0.000001% of your species timeline. That's either impressive or terrifying. Probably both. The leap from industry to information was nothing short of a neural explosion. Once you built machines to move coal, then machines to move through, computers, satellites, the internet, your species began digitalizing existence. The World Wide Web connected minds across continents. A farmer in Peru could email a researcher in Japan. Information became democratized. Data became power. And yet the irony remains. While information is infinite, attention spans grew shorter. The pace of evolution no longer depends on biology, but on bandwidth. And from the age of information, you flirted with something more dangerous, the nuclear age. You split the atom, and with it, opened both the gates of destruction and the engines of the stars. Nuclear energy holds the potential to power cities or erase them. It is a reminder, the more powerful your tools, the more delicate the balance. Evolution no longer means longer limbs or sharper teeth. Now it's microchips, reactors, neural networks. Your species began building tools that could either elevate it or end it. Classic humans. Let's build a machine that thinks faster than us, controls our energy, and possibly vaporizes a small continent. Genius. Just don't ask them to agree on climate policy or parking. Which brings us to the present, the technological adolescence of humanity. You're standing on the edge of capability and consequence. Artificial intelligence writes your poems, your cars drive themselves, and your fridges are smarter than ancient philosophers. The curve isn't linear anymore, it is exponential. What took millennia now takes years. Soon it will take months, and eventually days. Moore's law was only the prologue. The story now, it's acceleration. But this acceleration has a trajectory. The Earth is finite in resources, in space, in sustainability. Every mine has a bottom, every forest an edge. And yet, orbiting just above your atmosphere is an entire solar system full of metals, energy, and mystery. Asteroids packed with gold, moons full of ice, planets waiting for footprints. The only logical direction for civilization, if it survives itself, is up beyond the cradle, into the void. Technology doesn't want to stop, it wants to expand, just like you did. Oh, so now you're interested in space. Not when we suggested it 8 uploads ago. Sure, take your time. We will just be hovering in the Kuiper Belt, sipping iron smoothies while you Google how to mine asteroids without dying. Good luck, Earthlings. If history has taught us anything, is that humans don't upgrade slowly. They leap. Stone to bronze, wood to iron, steam to silicon. Every major leap in your development was sparked by necessity. You innovate when you're hungry, threatened, or bored. And now you're all three. Climate change whispers a countdown. Resource shortages mourn urgency. And boredom, it drives you to explore the stars in cinema, and soon in person. The logic of your evolution is simple. Stay and stagnate, expand and transcend. Space isn't just a romantic dream, it's economic logic. The Earth is a closed loop, but space is a ledge of untapped wealth. Helium-3 on the moon, rare minerals in asteroids, solar power without nights or clouds. Once space tech becomes profitable, the race will begin. Just as seafaring nations once battled for spices and trade routes, future nations, or corporations, will compete over orbits and mining rights. This is inevitable next phase, not a fantasy, but a spreadsheet in the making. Yup, we have officially entered sci-fi but make it capitalism chapter of human history. Welcome to Space TM. Now with zero gravity and infinite existential dread. Just wait till someone tries to gentrify Mars. Gonna be adorable. You're at the cusp of what some theorists call Type 1 civilization. Mastery over your planet's energy. But even that is just stage 1. Type 2, harnessing the energy of an entire star. Type 3, a galaxy. These aren't just science fiction concepts. They're milestones on a path of technological evolution. And you're in the awkward teenage phase. Powerful, impulsive, and still figuring out what it all means. But the direction is clear. Evolution isn't over, it's accelerating, and it's not bound to biology anymore. Each new leap has brought more than gadgets. It reshapes you how you think, relate, even dream. Hunter-gatherers didn't imagine stock markets. Farmers didn't fear climate collapse. Industrialists couldn't conceive uploading consciousness. Every era creates its own dilemmas. And your next one? Space colonization will be no different. You'll face ethical puzzles, political upheaval, and probably a few cosmic blunders. But one thing remains unchanged. Your instinct to build, to push forward, to explore. The tools evolve, but the hunger is eternal. So basically you're toddlers with laser cannons and rocket ships. Cute, adorable, terrifying. Just try not to blow up your paypan before you hit Type 1, yeah? Let's be clear. Evolution doesn't guarantee progress. It is a trajectory, not a promise. You've created technologies capable of healing the sick and feeding billions, but also of spreading misinformation and draining oceans. The tools are neutral. The results are not. What determines the future isn't sophistication of your machines, but the maturity of the species using them. And that's where you, dear humans, must evolve, not in circuits, but in consciousness. The final frontier isn't Mars or Titan, it's responsibility. Will you build to uplift or to dominate? To sustain or extract? Will your exploration be wise or simply a louder form of exploitation? These are the questions your ancestors never had to answer, but you must, because evolution without wisdom is just a faster fall. Oh, that was deep, blue like Mariana Trench but emotionally. I'm gonna need to reboot a comfort algorithm after that. Maybe a space blanket or a snack, preferably from a dimension without moral ambiguity. Now imagine this. Earth isn't abandoned. It becomes your cradle turned hub, a cultural archive, a biological reserve. But the real growth? It unfolds light years away. Colonies on icy moons orbiting megastructures, harvesting starlight, floating cities in the clouds of gas giants. These are no longer far-fetched fantasies, but calculations on whiteboards and blueprints in the works. It won't be fast, it won't be easy, but it's coming, because your technology has never moved backwards, only sideways before the next leap forward. And you don't even need to send humans first. AI, robotics, nano-engineers, these are your cosmic scouts. Machines can terraform, mine, build, and prepare. You won't land on Mars with a flag and a dream. You'll arrive with a fleet of automated ancestors that cleared the path. Evolution now splits the biological, the digital, the synthetic. You're not just evolving one species anymore. You're evolving 3, and they're all about to leave the nest. So Earth becomes grandma's house. Nice to visit, full of memories, but a little crowded and smells like burning fossil fuels. Meanwhile, your robot kids are out colonizing the stars and hopefully not starting intergalactic reality TV. But with cosmic potential comes cosmic risk. Space isn't just cold and empty, it's lawless. There are no borders in the void, no police in the asteroid belt. Just ambition and physics. The same tech that can build a lunar utopia can also crash a space station into a city without shared vision. Your reach will exceed your grasp, and your grasp might shatter something precious. The stars don't care if you're ready, they just wait. That is why the conversation must begin now, not after the rocket's launch. Who owns the moon? Who gets to decide what happens to Martian soil? What values travel with you? These aren't technological questions, they're human ones. The real final frontier isn't distance, it's ethics. And if you don't bring your better angels with you into orbit, well, space may not be the future, it may be the undoing. Imagine spending billions to reach Proxima Centauri, just to argue about parking. Or worse, exporting bureaucracy at light speed. Welcome to Andromeda. Please fill out your form 429-B. What a vibe. In the end, every tool you've ever made has been an extension of yourself, from fire to fiber optics. Technology doesn't replace evolution, it is evolution. And the reason it's moving so fast now, because you've plugged your ideas into machines that think faster than you. You've taken imagination and fed it into engines. You've made thought a force of physics. That's why the future feels like it's accelerating, because it is. So what now? You've gone from flint knives to quantum processors in a cosmic blink. The stars are next, not as a dream, but as a destination. But only if you remember, it's not the rocket that defines a species, it's what they choose to carry abroad. Hope or fear, wonder or greed, curiosity or conquest. Evolution is not just the story of what you can do, it's the story of what you choose to become. TLDR, you're on a rocket ride through cosmos with a blindfold made of memes and a sandwich made of anxiety. But hey, you've got potential, meatbags. Let's just hope you pack a map, a moral compass, and maybe a playlist. Preferably something more evolved than Baby Shark.